Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? I'm back with another video, and as you can see on the title, we're going to be talking about failure this time. I really want to talk to you guys about the idea of failure and the mindset on how it is really the way to success. I believe that without a failure, there's no success, and everybody needs to go through the stepping stone of a failure to then eventually succeed and achieve something greater than the downfall. So, I mean, I want you guys to think back at the moments where you experienced failure, some kind of setback, some kind of loss, and then also answer a question. How did I grow from that? And did I grow from that? Now, it is really a mindset shift. I want to really focus on the mindset aspect of this because if your mindset is the failure teaches you a lot of things and failure is the way to succeed and to learn, you don't really dislike failure anymore. If anything, you embrace failure. Every time you fail, every time you lose, you understand that it's actually not a bad thing at all. If anything, it is a good thing because it gives you room for improvement. It gives you time to reflect on the mistakes that you made. So what I really want to emphasize on this video is understanding that failure is just not fatal. A lot of people go in the mindset of failure that, oh yeah, it's not for me. They go into the business and their business doesn't go as planned. Oh, it's not for me. They play a sport and they lose. Oh, I'm never going to be good at this. They go and get a bad grade. Oh, this is not my major. Whatever. But you guys have to understand that the reason why you fail is because you have to learn. You made some kind of mistake. You made some kind of error. You are not competent enough in something. So you have to think about that and get better at it. Think about where did you make the mistake. So I'll kind of tell you from my experience personally. As an athlete, I did judo. So whenever you do a sport, you don't always win because you there's always somebody at a different level. There's always somebody better. No matter what kind of sport you do, you never always win. And if anybody tells you they always win, you know they're lying. And even if you think that you're always better than somebody else, that's also not the truth because in sports, you have your good days, you have your bad days. There are times where you're injured, you're not in the best shape, you probably took some days off, whatever. And, understanding that you're always got some kind of space to improve on, some kind of space to recover after some kind of setback, just is always reminding you that you need to keep moving forward. So, one of the key points that I want to emphasize is the time when I would lose, time that I would fail, times that I would come back from an injury or that type of thing, and I would see that I'm not where the other people are in my sports space or in life in general, I would always reflect on the things and say, okay, what can I do now to catch up? What can I do to improve on my failures, on my iniquities? So every time that kind of thing would happen, I had to ask myself those questions and then I had to find an answer for it through the thought process and through actions. So one of the things is if I would lose a tournament, I would think about, okay, where did I make a mistake? And one of the best ways to do that is obviously record yourself, whether you're in the gym or not, and say you failed a PR or, just record your form. I see it happen again. The storage, I ran out of storage, so I had to delete some stuff. But as long as I remember, I was talking about recording your form when you work out, or looking back at your setbacks. So what I would do personally is obviously I would record the match, or I would have somebody record the match. That's a better way to say it. And then I would watch back and say, okay, this is where I made the mistake. What can I do to better this? Then I would go and put in the practice in that specific way to then master that skill. And that's the thing. You will never get to a point where you know everything. You will never get to a point where you don't make mistakes. That's the beauty of life in general, is you will never be enough to be the best. You will always have somebody that's better than you. You will always find a way to learn from somebody. And even if those people that are very self-centered and say, oh, I don't pay attention to other people, I don't want to pay attention to who's winning, who's not, whatever, you can always look within, and you can always look at your progress and say, where did I mess up and how can I improve that? Because you might master one thing, but then the other thing needs to be worked on. Then when you work on this, then there's another thing and another thing. And as you grow as a person and as you become more wise, you understand more things you need to work towards. So, I mean, I think there's this one quote, Socrates said this, or somebody, so some kind of philosopher, I think, said, wisdom is understanding that you don't know anything. And it's something along those lines. I know, I don't really know specifically how it goes, but the idea is the more you understand that you don't know anything, the more you understand that you don't know nothing, is when you really start to think about how to become better at something. And you will never know everything. You will never be the best at anything. And that is why, from the beginning, I said it gives you more space to work towards. It gives you more things to work on. So, another story that I want to share is with my car detailing business. Um, me and my friend would be going around, knocking on doors and asking people for a service and telling people what we do and all that kind of stuff. And when one person would say no, the second one, the third one, we would just change up the strategy. Not because maybe the strategy was bad, but because we weren't getting the results that we wanted. So we were trying new things. And then when we tried the new thing and it worked out, we would be like, okay, this works. And then we would keep going with it, and it wasn't enough. So then we would have to work on changing the new things, and not just knocking on doors or whatever, but also other things in life. Let's say your diet. You have a specific diet or specific type of routine that you do, and you don't really get the best results that you want. Then you change up that tactic. You change your workouts. You change the routine. You change the intensity, the reps, how many sets you do, all that kind of stuff, and then you find some kind of sweet spot. So even though life is really always changing, and you shouldn't never get complacent on saying, okay, this is it and this is what I'm going to stick with. You always have to just try new things, understand why you failed, why you had to step back, why you were not getting the best results, and then work on those changes. And when you have that mindset on finding your flaws and finding your, I would say, iniquities, then that's really when you start reflecting on your life in a deep sense and understand every little thing you can work on. And when you see that, that's when you really, really understand that you're very far away from what success really is. And then your understanding of success also grows because you understand what you're lacking. Because if your understanding of success is just very small and you say, whenever I hit this PR, that's when I'm successful and that's it. Like, I don't really need to grow from there. That's when you have a fixed mindset. But when your mindset is, okay, when I'm gonna hit this PR, then I'm gonna get the form down to the point where it's perfect. Then I will do couple reps. That's when I'm getting stronger. And then you're slowly expanding from that and trying to find new ways to expand the success rather than just focusing on the PR and that's it, you succeeded. So, you're going to have that creative side to you. So that's pretty much like what I wanted to talk about, that failure is really not your enemy. It is your friend more than your enemy. And whenever you see somebody saying otherwise, I would suggest you to correct them, share the insight that I gave you on failure, and the perspective shift that you should apply in your life is embracing the failure. Every time you fail, try your best to look at it in a positive way. And instead of worrying about why it happened or how it happened, in terms of telling yourself it shouldn't have happened or why did it happen to me, if anything, appreciate it. Appreciate that it happened to you, because that means God put you in that place of that specific failure to make you stronger in that specific thing. So Instead of saying, why did it happen to me? Say, I'm glad it happened to me. Because then you are the person that has the opportunity to grow. You are the person that has the opportunity to change. You are the person that has an opportunity to succeed. So always look at it from a positive light, because God does not give you anything that you can overcome. He always gives you a way to grow from it, a way to get stronger from it. It's really up to you how you look at it. So that's just life. Everything that you do, you will always have setbacks. You will always have failures. And it's better to look at it from a growth mindset versus fixed mindset, because failure is inevitable. So might as well focus on it with a positive perspective and move on from it with a positive perspective, because you will fail no matter what. And you should know this by now, that you will not always succeed. You will fail at some point. You will have a setback at some point. So you always have to remember that looking at it from a positive light will move you up. Looking at it in a negative light will move you down. So you really have a choice to make. It just really depends on what kind of choice you make. Now, I have a Bible verse that I want to share for this. It's Proverbs 24:16. For though the righteous fall 7 times, they rise again, but the wicked stumble when calamity strikes. And this Bible verse pretty much just reflects on the understanding that even if you fall 7 times, you will rise again. That God will give you that strength to rise again. You have to be willing to rise and keep moving forward, because that's just what it comes down to at the end of the day. It's your choice. You make that choice. And the person with a bad mindset in this um, verse, wicked stumble, and then that is the end for them. Their mindset is like, oh, I'm done. This is it. I lost. But it's not. It's not where you lost. You might have lost at the moment, but you learned. And then you have to apply that knowledge that you learn to the next chapter of your life, or the next step towards your career or your path, your purpose, whatever it may be. You have to apply these mistakes that you learned from. That is why it is very, I would say, vital to reflect on your mistakes and your life in general by journaling and doing the other stuff too. So just kind of want to end it there. I always want you guys to remember that failure happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Just because you failed, just because you lost, does not mean it's the end. It just shows that you have thinking to do. You have something to work towards. You have something to improve towards. So look at it from a positive light. Be a positive person. And when failure comes your way, I promise you, with that mindset, you're not going to be affected by it. If anything, you will greet it like it's your friend rather than your enemy. So always remember that. And oh, I want to thank you guys for my first video. I never really said this on camera, on the comments that I got. Very inspirational. Part of it, why it kept me moving and why it kept me going with this. And my goal really is to help as many people as possible. Also give you an idea on deep thinking, and really get used to thinking things through, and having deep discussions with your friends and your peers, because that is really one of the ways that you can grow bigger as bigger in your field, or as a person. So always remember that. Strive for bigger things, strive for better things, and find peace with you. So through this mindset, you will definitely move up, and you will definitely get better. So always remember, guys, God loves you. You're not alone. And keep on chasing your dream. Keep on chasing your vision. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, because failure is just inevitable. So just go after it and really, really come out from it as a stronger person, rather than letting letting the failure dictate your outcome towards your goal or purpose. All right. Have a good one, guys. Good talking with you. I hope to hear from you. I hope you guys engage in the comment section. Let me know what I could have done better on, what I could have said that maybe sparked your imagination better, or how to explain things better, whatever, anything that is improvement wise, I would love to hear your guys' feedback. And I also want to grow from this as much as you guys. So I really hope that you guys got value out of this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.